Good evening and welcome to the CDR. This is the Tier 1 event here at Silverstone. Round 4 takes us here for another thrilling Grand Prix that is lined up for tonight. Given the brilliant ending to last week's race that saw Drofters fight his way through to take the victory, he'll be hoping to build on his 16-point margin in the title battle as the drivers come to Silverstone. I'm Tom Cairns in the Conjure Box, and we are ready for the first part of qualifying. 18 minutes. We'll lose the slowest 5 drivers at the end of the session. We'll lose another 5 at the end of the next qualifying part of Q2, and then the top 10 will go through to Q3 to fight it out for pole position. Following that, it will be a 26-lap British Grand Prix. Should there be no VSCs or safety cars, this race should be done in roundabout just under 40 minutes. So altogether, we should be done, at the time of recording, we should be done by roundabout 10:15 Greenwich Mean Time. So qualifying has begun. Just wait for drivers to complete their last-minute setups. They will be under Parc Fermé rules once they do leave the pits. Don't think any of them are just rushing out on circuit. We have got some changes on the grid for tonight. We'll begin with Aston Martin. Dean Conn is in place of Callum. And there's Teddy Henke in the Alpine in place of Flicks. We've got Albie in the AlphaTauri in place of the reigning champion Scotty. And last but not least, I'm sure there's another one that is in there. It's Basket Emil, who's in the Alfa Romeo in place of Reservai. There is Noodles, who's going to be the first one out of the pits. And Calvin saying good evening. Good evening to you, Calvin. Best of luck to you tonight in the Red Bull. And Ryan Conway saying good luck, everyone. I don't know which car Ryan is in, or whichever one he's in. Best of luck to him as well. So the drivers know that they don't want to be pushing too hard. They know they are against the clock to get the best lap in possible. And Noodles just slowing down there, I think, just to allow the Williams and the AlphaTauri through. There's MDG also out on circuit. Synix just trying to get some temperature into his tyres. There's Red Dog in the Williams. No, Red Dog missed last week. Red Dog, out of all of the full-time drivers this season, 19th overall. And now he's preparing for his first time lap. Most of the drivers are out on circuit. Brakes for Village, over the curb, to the outside and heading to the loop. And the Dog approaching Brooklands. And now he exits out of Loffield and down the old pit straight. So Red Dog towards Maggots and Beckett's. Face to the curb, and the rear wing is open on the hanger straight. And this is him going towards Stowe, and now heading towards Vale. And then the two left-handers of Club, and then the Hamilton straight to conclude the lap. 1 minute 28.3 for the Williams pilot. What about the AlphaTauri behind that? It's Sainz who goes to the top. Oh, and that's someone in the wall there. Is that MDG who's got into the wall? It is. Well, he's got a lap time on the board anyway. Noodles goes past him. Yeah, not quite the start to the session that MDG would be hoping for. He'll be needing to go for a quicker lap than that, I would reckon. Here is Jaihu, podium finisher last week in Hungary. Came close to the victory before Droftis on the soft compound tyres overtook him with a couple of laps remaining. And now he's heading towards the left-hander of Vale. There's a Red Bull ahead, but he should be alright actually. Calvin is coming around to complete his first... Oh, he's going to be starting the lap now actually. Jaihu goes fourth, ahead of his teammate on a 1 minute 27.9. There's more times going on the board. Teddy's gone fifth on a 1:27.9. Bruges has gone fourth on a 1:27.8. We've got Ferraris heading over the line. Dan's posted a 1:28.5 on the mediums. Droftis has posted a non-representative time of 1:33.6. Here's Weatherman Harry going to 7th fastest on a 1:28.0. Martin's on a lap. Rabico's on a lap. Calvin is also on a lap. Martin on the podium last week. Goes into this round 7th overall. And Calvin's crashed out on the exit of Copse Corner, so that's his qualifying session over already for him. Only 6 minutes into the session, and he's binned it all by himself, really. I don't think he came together with anyone, but that is his session over. Meanwhile, Martin heading over the line. 1:27.8 goes fourth with that one. Rabico second in the title battle. Race winner, of course, in Zandvoort. And the McLaren heads over the line for 1:27.6, goes fourth. So Sainz, who draws first blood at the moment, with Red Dog, who is on another fast lap by the looks of things. Red Dog could well be needing to get a faster lap time here to get him out of danger, because there's no doubt that Dan and Droftis will be posting better times. And you look at all those who are yet to post a time, they'll most certainly get ahead of Red Dog and MDG as it stands. And it's a fast lap time for Red Dog. He goes in front of his teammate. They'll definitely need a better time than that, I would think, to get into Q2. Now here's Rabico. I don't know if he is doing another flying lap. Wouldn't be at all surprised if he is. He's 4 faster than a 1:27.6. I would think that should be quick enough to help him get through into the second part of qualifying. How is he getting on here? He's backed off the pace actually, so Big White comes back to the pits. Martin on his way in. Bruges has exceeded track limits. Who else is on a fast lap? Well, Colin is on a fast lap. Hamster is on a fast lap. We'll stay with Colin for now. Now Colin should be quick enough to get into Q3 here. So Colin, through Stowe Corner he comes. He should go into the 1:27 here with this lap he's about to put on the board. We'll go to Hamster shortly. Meanwhile, Colin over the line, and it's a 1:27.0, and he goes to the top of the timing pages. Hamster, who's shown some great pace this season so far, although his error in Hungary had cost him. He's heading over the line now, and it's also going to be, well, it's only a 1:28.1. He lost a bit of time in the last sector there, so I wonder if Hamster may need to go again if he is to get through. Here's Emil in the Alfa Romeo, who's just begun a fast lap. Heading towards Sector 1. He's in the 27s, only just though. And Jay Hartnell has also crashed out on circuit. So that's another one gone from this session. And that's good news for Hamster, actually, because that's one less driver to worry about. Emil is now the only driver who is still in the run-in here, who is yet to post a lap time of any sort. Joftis has begun another lap now. And Rabico's retired in the pits. He's not going to go back out onto the racetrack again until Q2, should he get there, of course. I just wonder how much the track is going to evolve, though. And Dan is about to start a fast lap now. Dincon, third fastest so far in the Aston Martin. Decides to retire from the session as well. It's only 1:28.1 for Emil. He goes 13th. He's able to displace Hamster. MDG on a fast lap. Droftus also on a fast lap. Oh, and that's MDG going into the barrier by the looks of it. And his front wing's gone. At least he's still able to continue, but he's lost himself even more time with that front wing damage. So we'll go to Droftus next, who's on the medium compound, actually. Now, with this lap time he's about to produce, he should go into the 1:27s. MDG is now in the drop zone. Red Dog is the driver at risk in 15th. So Droftus over the line for Ferrari. It's a 1:27.4, and he goes to P4 with that time. Here's Dan, his Ferrari teammate, coming through Stowe. It's on the soft compound this time, so he should be going significantly quicker. Let's see what his time is like over the line. It's a 1:27.6, goes P7. So that pushes Hamster into the drop zone. So Hamster will need to go out again to avoid elimination. Harry's lost his front wing, so he's had an incident somewhere. Emil makes his way back into the pit lane. He's in 15th now. There is Martin out on circuit in the other Alfa Romeo. Now Martin continuing on his way. In through Muggets. And through Beckett's. And now through the second sector. He's nearly 2/10 up from before. And Martin through Vale and Club. Gets the power down. Heads towards the line. And he goes up to 7th place. So that's a good lap time for him. We'll go to Red Dog, who is on a fast lap. Justice has retired from the session, so we won't be seeing him back out. And he's half a tenth down from before, so Red Dog very much on the brink here of being knocked out of qualifying. He keeps his car within the track limits. Caught the curve too much there, which will cost him. It's only a 1:28.6, so he stays in 17th. Jaihu going quicker than before through sector 1. Bruges going quicker than before through sector 2. He improves to 2nd. So Bruges up to P2. That pushes Rabico down to 10th. There is Jaihu on a fast lap. He's only in 12th in the Haas. And he's 3/10 up from before through sector 2. Now he's avoiding the curb there through Stowe. Down to 2nd gear for Vale. Now up the gears on the exit of Club. He goes up to 6th place as Jaihu and he improves by 4/10. Albie on a fast lap. He's not gone quicker than before though through sector 1. Hamster's just started a flying lap with just over 3 minutes remaining. Now can Albie move up the order here? Heading through sector 2. And he's a quarter of a second up from before. So it's looking good to move up a position and bridge further clear of danger. Albie has made an appearance in Tier 1 in the CDR. Is coming through. And this lap time of his should be good enough to move him up. And he goes up to 10th. So he found a little bit more time in the last sector. And Big Boy decides he's not going back out again. Red Dog now 15th for Williams, as Emil has been pushed into the drop zone. Hamster doesn't look like he's going that quick actually, so he's backed off on this lap. MDG, now this is going to be an interesting one for him. The man who finished runner-up last season in Tier 1 is on the brink of being knocked out unless he can find, at the very minimum, 2/10. He's gone off the track and luckily kept his lap time validated. Oh, he's off! MDG in the barrier again. That's twice he's done that. He did it earlier at Cox Corner and now he's done it at Beckett's and he's retiring from the session. He knows his session's done. Not sure that should be allowed, to be honest with you. He's retired on track. Hamster's back in the pits. And it looks like his session is over as well. So Hamster and MDG, two of which we didn't expect to go out of qualifying at this stage, are doing so. Now Emil is going faster than before through sector 2 by 4/10. Can he get himself up the order here? Now Red Dog is on the fast lap. Emil gets out of the drop zone, goes 9th fastest. Red Dog not going faster than before through sector 1. Weatherman Harry is going a lot faster by sector 2, and he's gone up to 4th place. Great lap there by Harry to move himself up there, and that puts Big Boy now at risk. Although Red Dog has got 4/10 to find on this lap. Otherwise, he will be out of qualifying. So coming through sector 2, he's 1,000 up, but he needs to find a heap of time in the last sector. I don't think he's going to do it, to be honest with you. He heads through. He goes over the line. He does not improve his time, so Red Dog is out of qualifying. Big Boy can breathe a huge sigh of relief. He is through to Q2. So whilst we watch Dan complete this lap, he's going faster than before, actually, although he's just exceeded track limits. The 5 drivers we lose at the end of Q1, they are Red Dog, Hamster, MDG, Jay Hartnell, and Calvin. two drivers in particular we didn't expect to lose at the end of that first part. But it is what it is, and both of them are out. And I'll tell you what, 6.5 tenths, or just over that, separates the top 15. Which is going to make for an interesting Q2 session. Who's going to try and get through on the mediums? And there's Red Dog just trailing round. So Colin, fastest at the end of Q1, but that does not determine the grid. What does determine the grid is those in the bottom 5. Red Dog is out, along with Hamster, MDG, Hartnell and Calvin. We'll be back for Q2 in a moment. The skies are darkening at the moment, so I don't know if there's going to be any rain looming on the horizon on this racetrack. Sonic's out on circuit in the AlphaTauri. And whilst waiting for some laps to begin, we'll run down on the calendar. Now, tonight's event is the last one before we take a 3-week break for Christmas, and then return on the 7th of January in Portimao, and then we go to Melbourne on the 14th, Imola on the 21st, and then Interlagos on the 28th. For February, round 9 takes us to calendar on the 4th, Austin on the 11th, Paul Ricard on the 18th, and Abu Dhabi on the 25th. And finally, March, we've got round 13 in Azerbaijan on the 4th, Barcelona on the 11th, Bahrain on the 18th, and then the season finale will be at Suzuka on March the 25th for Tier 1. And Sonic's just slowing down just to generate some tyre temperature. Got 14 out of the 15 on circuit. Well, Jottis is just joining in the fun, coming out of the pits as Sonic's prepares to start his flying lap. He's on the soft compound, taking as wide of a line as he can, so he gathers more speed down the pit straight. Oh, and that Sonic's in the wall. So Sonic's pushed too hard on the exit of Abbey, and he's gone. And Colin has gone as well. I don't know if it's tyre temperature they're lacking of generating, but Sonic's is out to qualify now. He's going no further. Droftus has lost connection somehow, and he's back in the pits by the looks of things. And someone else has gone off the circuit, I think. Might have been an Aston Martin, but didn't expect Sonic's to go off the track in the way that he did. Now, through all that, I've lost track of who is actually the first driver to set a lap time. This is Jai Hu. Now, with all of them out on circuit now, they really do need to get a lap time set. I think the rain is coming, to be honest with you. Otherwise, would we be seeing this much activity? Here is Jai Hu. He enters Vale. Catches the curve a little bit too much there. 1 minute 27.5 for the Haas driver. One of the Alpines is coming through as well. That'll be Teddy. On the mediums, 128.3 for him. Here is Weatherman Harry. Emil goes second. Rabico goes second now, 127.9. Harry beats him. So Harry has beaten him by 18 thousandths of a second to put himself in P2. Dan goes second with 127.6 on the soft compounds. Big Boy next, 127.6 on the softs. And Colin posts a lap time of any sort. Albie goes over the line for AlphaTauri. 4th fastest for him, 1 minute 27.8. Martin is next in the Alfa Romeo. 1 minute 27.3, and he goes top. So Martin top of the timesheet so far. Bruges starts another flying lap, and the rain has started to come down. So I think what we have in the bottom 5 could well be the 5 that we lose at the end of qualifying, including the championship leader, Droftus. Now, Bruges has got his wits about him here. He needs to get a lap time on the board here as quickly as he can before the track becomes more and more greasy. Well, we can't afford to run too far out wide. Bruges enters Corps. I think he might have been reluctant to lift off the throttle slightly. Now he's got some traffic he needs to deal with. There's a McLaren who should stay out of the way. That's Rabico. Rear wing open. There's an Alfa Romeo just going through Stowe corner now. I think Bruges will be okay. Now Bruges brakes for Vale. And now Club over the line. And this is going to be a 1 minute 28.4. And he goes 11th. So that's not enough for Bruges, unfortunately. Now, is he going to go again? Or is he going to accept defeat on this occasion and just come back in? Well, Noodles is heading out on circuit, but has he left it too late? Colin has just started the flying lap now, but he's definitely left it too late as well. That mistake he made at Farm Corner has cost him dear. So the man who ended up fastest at the end of Q1 is facing a Q2 elimination. He was over 19 seconds up from before, after he made that mistake. He's got to hope he'll be gaining more and more time here, because as it stands, he's only on course for 1 minute 30. No, he's backed out of it, to be honest with you. Yeah, he's exceeded track limits. So Colin looks as though his session is run. Noodles through sector 1. It's a 28-0. Now he just needs to get in front of Teddy here, and that will book him a place in Q3. Now, we had a similar situation here in China where Q1 and Q2 were just washed out, dry at the beginning, and then got wet after the opening few minutes. So Noodles going through Beckett. So 1 minute 4.5. He's hanging in there. Droftus has joined now, and I think he realises that his session is run. There's no way he's going to improve. I'll get a lap time on the board. Noodles only goes 12th, so his session is all but over now. So the 5 drivers we will lose at the end of Q2, they are Bruges, Noodles, Colin, Synix, and Droftus. And all 4 drivers, I'll just count them actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 reserve drivers have all made it into Q3. Brilliant achievement, that. Racetrack. Yeah, I don't know why Teddy's out on circuit, to be honest with you. He must think there's no way that he's going to be knocked out here. Oh. I mean, there's no grip out there for the drivers, so I can't see why they're out on circuit. I mean, Noodles and Teddy may as well just give up the ghost and come in. And Droftus is out on track now. Is he on the intermediates? Or is he on slicks? No, he's on slicks. May as well not bother. I'll be very, very surprised if he does pull it off here, but it's just not enough grip. Because even by the time he starts his final lap, the track will become wetter and wetter. He's carrying on actually, so we'll see how Droftus does on his flying lap. But it's a 1 minute 28.3 that he needs to beat. Very nicely done there through the village and through the loop. He seems to be finding an awful lot of grip from somewhere. And the DRS is still enabled, so Droftus will still be able to use it. So 27.4 by sector 1. So Droftus may not be out of the equation here just yet. Bruges is on a set of the soft compound. Droftus didn't attack Cop's corner as well as he would have liked to have done, obviously. I think this is going to be a 1 minute 4 by sector 2, maybe even faster than that. The DRS is now actually disabled, so that will not play into Droftus' hands on the back straight. He's coming through, and he's actually docking into the pits. He knows that he's probably not going to get a good enough lap time on that. So Joftis is out of qualifying, and Bruges will surely just duck into the pits. And so he'll start 11th in the Alpine. And whilst we're waiting, we'll run down on the championship standings going into tonight's race. Joftis 16 points clear of Rabico. Jahu third, another 8 points adrift. Bruges fourth. Hamster fifth. We've just got 90 seconds of Q2 remaining. And the 5 drivers we will lose at the end are Bruges, Noodles, Colin, Synix, and Joftis. It's going to make for an interesting race later on, that's for certain. It's going to make for an interesting Q3 session as well. Who will be on pole position? Well, Rabico was on pole at Hungary last week, in Hungary. Hamster was on pole in China. And in Zandvoort, the driver who was on pole was Rise on the intermediates. So we could still get a different pole sitter here tonight. So at the end of that session, Martin was fastest, but the drivers we lose are Bruges, Noodles, Colin, Synix, and Joftis. The top 10 go through to the shootout. Now, just to give you some information to those getting through on the mediums, they are Dean Con, Weatherman Harry, Rabico, Emil, and Teddy. We'll be back for the final part of qualifying very shortly. And the rain is here to stay for Q3. Now, I would expect the drivers to go on to intermediates. Don't seem to be seeing any drivers heading out straight away as they're making any setup changes. And so we've got the Alfa Romeo, or both of the Alfa Romeos out on track now. Martin and Emil. 18 corners on this 5.8 kilometre racetrack. The fans seem to like this layout, particularly the Wellington Straight, which has decided some races in the past. For example, 2012, where Mark Webber got past Fernando Alonso in the final laps to take what proved to be his last victory in Formula One. So we've got 9 out of 10 drivers on track now. Weatherman Harry's still in the pits, probably waiting for a gap in the traffic, and to be honest, I think now may well be the best time for him to be heading out on track, but he's not doing that right now. Now I'd expect these drivers to do some consecutive lap times. And Martin brakes in a straight line for turn 3, which is Village, and then turn 4 is the loop. On the power nice and early, over the curbs and down the back straight before he goes through the first sector, which is a 30.3. Brakes for Brooklands. So Martin, he did well in qualifying on this track last season. I think he was 4th on the grid, but came close to getting pole. And Weatherman Harry is out on circuit now. And Martin's exceeded track limits, unfortunately, so we may as well come away from him. Emil, 1 minute 10.6 by sector 2. I don't think Martin's lap was going to be that quick anyway, because he wasn't using his overtake button. So Emil over the line in the Alfa Romeo, 1 minute 37.3. So that's the first time on the board. How is Rabico getting on? Well, he's heading through Vale now. And the start time for him is a 1 minute 37.0, and he beats Emil by 0.3 of a second. Big Boy goes third temporarily before Teddy goes second on a 1:37.2, less than 0.2 off the pace. And Dan now goes fastest, 1:36.9 for him, less than a tenth ahead of the McLaren. Dean Conn on a lap that's invalidated. Albie's posted a time that's not representative. So we'll go to Jai Hu next in the Haas. Rides the curbs. And now we'll head to the line. Should be a 1 minute 36 here. And he goes top by more than 100th of a second. Jai Hu on provisional pole as Martin continues to find time on this lap. He's doing right this second. Keeps his car within the track limits. And now we'll be heading to the line, and it should be a 1 minute 36. 1:36.7, and he goes top by 0.2. So Martin takes that provisional pole position. Look at this! Emil goes even faster. So it's an all Alfa Romeo front row. Emil on provisional pole. What about Rabico? He's coming over the line for McLaren. Can he take pole away? Yes, he can. So the track clearly is getting quicker as we speak. Big Boy now goes top by 600ths of a second over Rabico. Next over the line is Dan, who's on an invalidated lap time. So Albie is going over the line next, and he's now on provisional pole. So a reserve driver is on pole with 5 minutes remaining. Dincon back in the pits. Harry also. What about Jaihu? Is he on a fast start? No, he's not. He's backed off. Martin trying to go quicker than he did so last time. Time down through sector 1. We'll find out how he's getting on in sector 2. He needs to ideally be in a low 1 minute 10s, maybe high 1 minute 9s. It's a low 1 minute 10, and he's nearly a 10th up from before by this stage of the lap. So it's looking good for him to move back ahead of his teammate. But in terms of getting higher up than that, is anyone's guess at the moment. He brakes for Vale, and now through Club, rides the curves, powers the throttle, and he goes fourth with 1:36.6. How's Rabico getting on? He's exceeded track limits, and he's ducking into the pits for a new set of intermediates. Jaihu's going quicker than before through sector 1 by the looks of things. Now, what about Albie? Is he doing another fast lap from before? No, he's not. He's heading back in. Martin's likely to go back in as well. So we go back to Jaihu. Now, what will Jaihu decide to do here? Will he continue on this lap or will he dock in? He's a quarter of a second up from before, but I think his best shot is to come in and get another set of intermediates on. No, he's carrying on, is Jaihu. Now he's coming out of the last turn. He gets a kick of wheel spin. That won't do the start of the next lap any good either. He goes 6th fastest just before he exceeded track limits. So he's got one last attempt, but that's all he's got. He's done, running in 5th place. Got Teddy back out on another set of the intermediates. Can Dan find enough time through sector 2? He's low on fuel at the moment, so I don't think he's going to have enough time to get another fast lap in. If I'm honest with you, he's done. He's going to be very much up against time. 2.5 minutes to go. Yep, he's coming in. Needs to be as quick as he can. We'll go back to Teddy then. He starts another fast lap on a fresh set of intermediates. And someone has gone off in sector 1. It's Albie, who was just backing off to stay out of the way of Teddy. Now, is it going to come down to track evolution? I reckon it will do. Teddy coming towards sector 1 now. He's in the high 30s. Now, Jaihu is in the pits. His qualifying session's done, so 6th or lower is where he'll end up. Martin, Dan and Jaihu won't be going out for another lap, so they won't be going for pole. So he stays on track. Teddy through sector 2. And he's only 200ths up from before. So I think 8th is his best shot right now, unless he decides to go for another lap, providing he's got enough fuel left in there. So coming out of Vale and through Club. And Teddy spins. And that is his qualifying done. Who else is out on a lap? Well, Emil is at the moment. Harry is as well. Rabico and Big Boy are. I need to see how Harry gets on here. He's coming up behind Martin, who's not going to have time to get a fast lap in, unfortunately. He's left it too late. There's Dean Con, who's also left it too late, so Dean Con's not going to get a lap in either. Here's Harry through Stowe. Through Vale. The checker flag is out, so any drivers on a fast lap can complete it. There may be a glitch actually with the timing board, so Deancon and Martin carry on as they are. Weatherman Harry goes third fastest with his 1:36.5. The checker flag is out now, so Emil goes second with 1:36.3. So he's got himself a front row start for the time being. Rabico goes fastest at a 1:36.0. So Rabico on pole by 2.5 tenths of a second. Albi's last lap sees him invalidate, so he's not going to be going to pole position. Weatherman Harry is going quicker than before through sector 1. Teddy's laps are done, so he won't be going any quicker. So all that remains is to see whether, well, I was going to say Harry, but he's backed off on his lap. He's made a mistake somewhere. Can Martin or Deancon snatch pole position from Rabico here at Silverstone? Martin ideally needs to get into the 1-minute 9s by sector 2 to have any chance of throwing himself in contention of taking pole away from the McLaren. And he is in the 1-minute 9s. He's half a second up from before. So Martin very much in play for pole. He enters so. We'll go to Deancon in a moment. Martin through. Fail and now Club. Is this good enough for pole position here at Silverstone? Yes, it is! He goes to pole by 17 thousandths of a second. Dean has exceeded track limits on his lap. Martin, in the final seconds of the session, after the checker flag has flown, has snatched pole position away from Rabico. Albi will be the best of the reserve drivers in third. But what a brilliant last effort from Martin to take pole position at his home Grand Prix. Rabico will line up alongside. Albi and Emil will be on the second row. Big Boy and Harry make up row 3 ahead of Dan and Jaihu. Teddy and Dean round out the top 10. Qualifying is done. Can the race deliver a spell-binding encounter? You'll find out when we go racing. It's dry and sunny, and we are raring to go for the start of this British Grand Prix. There'll be no formation laps, so we're going to go straight to lights out for the start of this race. So quick rundown on who is lining up. Martin, Rabico on pole, Albi and Emil alongside. It's Big Boy and Harry on the third row. Dan and Jaihu on row 4, ahead of Teddy and Dean. Bruges and Noodles are on row 6, followed by Colin and Sinix. Joftis starts 15th, ahead of Red Dog and Hamster. MDG, Jay Hartnell and Calvin round off the grid. The drivers are in position then, and we await for those 5 red lights to appear in front of the drivers, all 20 of them. Here we go then for the start of the British Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go. Martin gets off the line very well. Rabico pulling alongside. He'll have the inside line, but Martin stays ahead through Abbey. Albie gets alongside Rabico as well through Farm, and he's got up into second place in the AlphaTauri. So Rabico loses the position at the start, and Jaihu has crashed out already. And could that bring out the safety car? I think it is. MDG is left on the grid. He's now disqualified for the session. He stalled and didn't get away. So 2 cars out already at the start of this race. The virtual safety car has been deployed because of Jaihu crashing at Village. Martin getting off to a brilliant start. Albie in second place, Rabico third, Emil is fourth. He gets a 5-second tyre penalty for ignoring yellow flags, unfortunately. So that'll be taken at his next pit stop. Dan is fifth, followed by Big Boy, Harry, Bruce, Dean and Noodles running out the top 10 at the present moment. So we can see which tyre compounds each driver is on. Now the only drivers starting on the softs are Martin, Albie, Dan, Big Boy, Hamster and Red Dog. Jay Hartnell is the only one started on the hards. All the others are on mediums. Jaihu and MDG started on the softs, but they're both out of the race now. And we're back on the way again. Martin leads the field. Albie staying in touch with him. There's no DRS, remember, for the first 2 laps. So it's just under normal racing conditions. Big Boy moving in front of Dan, who seems to be caught napping. I think Dan's got damage, actually. So he's coming into the pits. See his front wheel in place. Dean going in too quickly. So he's in. It looks like Colin is in as well with damage. So 3 drivers in the pits for new front wings. And there's a long way back for them from there to salvage any points. Now Albie, can he keep up the pace at the moment? You can see Droftus has started on the medium, so he could come into play for the race victory later on. The man who's taken victory in China and Hungary. He's aiming for a hat-trick of victories here to extend his lead at the top over Rabico. Whilst Albie will be closing in on Martin through Cops Corner. So the top 3 in your picture. I'll be closing on Martin. So we can see if there's any other action going on further behind. Harry doing well to keep hold of 6. Now we can see the top 2 running on board with the front wing there of Albie's AlphaTauri. And Martin with a new fast start. Rabico taking that away from him. The DRS has now been enabled. And Albie will be able to use that to his advantage on the Wellington Straight. Now he probably won't have a go through here. He can definitely get closer to the Alfa Romeo in front. So Albie staying in touch. Now can he get in front by the time they do get to Stowe Corner? Here are DRS zones on this circuit at Silverstone, one on the Wellington Straight, the other on the Hangar Straight. Albie will looking to use the DRS zones to his advantage. Drivers heading through Beckett's Corner. Now through Chapel and now onto the Hangar Straight. DRS opens on Albie's car. Is he going to be able to have a go on Martin? Not on this occasion. He's definitely closer. And Big Boy moves in front of Emil for 4th place. And Droftus ahead of Hamster. Both of which are looking to fight their way through the pack. Albie with a new fastest lap. With a 1 minute 30.1. He's right on the gearbox there of the Alfa Romeo. Can he get in front? We're on lap 4 of this race. Albie with the rear wing open. Martin going left and then right. Needs to be careful not to weave too much. Joftis now ahead of Teddy for 10th place. Next one ahead of him is Sinex. Colin with a new fast lap. He's down at the back in 17th with Dean Con for company. Albie still behind the Alfa Romeo at the moment. Martin is going to struggle to hold off on this occasion, I think. Albie trying to get into the slipstream. Saving his ERS for another occasion. Can he go to the inside into Stoke? On he goes! And Martin holds his line and stays ahead. Now, Albie thought about it, but it was too risky going into Stoke. He has to tuck back in behind. Noodles has got in front of Harry for 6th place. And he's got through. And there's the Alpine of Bruges pulling alongside the Aston Martin. Is he able to get past? A little bit of wheel banging, but nothing too personal. And that's going to allow Sinex through as well. So Sinex up to 8th place, thanks to the open door. And Albie still behind the Alfa Romeo, as the drivers come onto the Wellington Straight for the 5th time. Now Sinex has got in front of Harry for 7th place, so Sinex on a charge, having a good race at the moment, making up for that accident he made in Q2. So the drivers coming through, Maggots and Beckett's. Albie looking to get in front of the Alfa Romeo on this occasion. Rear wing open. He uses his ERS. Someone's gone for a spin. It's Noodles in the Mercedes on the exit of Maggots. He's continued, but he's dropped down the order after that. But I want to stay with the leaders as Albie looks for a move down the inside of Martin. Interveils this for the lead. No change at the moment. This is great racing so far, and clean as well. Noodles has dropped down to 14th place, behind Red Dog. They are going into battle, those two, but Noodles able to get back ahead. And someone's got off in sector 3. It's the Red Bull of Hamster, who has gone for a spin on the Hamilton Straight, and he's down to 14th place now. Rear wing open on Albie's car. He's not going to be able to use the slipstream on this occasion. And looks like someone has gone off at sector 1, but has continued. Bruges ahead of Harry for 7th position. Harry's dropped back another place now to Joftis behind. So Harry beginning to struggle at the moment as Kelvin looks to send in even further down the order. Joftis going side by side with Bruges. Can he complete the move into Cop's corner? The answer to that question is yes. What a nice manoeuvre there from Joftis. This is why he is the championship leader. Fully committed, bravery, and he just knows where to place the car round the outside on the more grippy line. Harry now with a time penalty for track limits. That won't do him any good later on. And Albie's still not able to get in front of Martin on this occasion. So he waits behind as the leaders make their way through Club and onto the Hamilton Straight. And Harry into the pits. I don't know if he's picked up damage from contact earlier, but that will commit him onto the hard compound now. You've got to use at least 2 different dry compounds in a dry race. Yeah, there is a front wing ready for him. So Harry's race looks finished. Hamster coming in to get rid of those soft compound tyres. I would imagine he will go on to the hard compound as well. And go back to the leaders. And Rabico thinks about a move. He doesn't need to be doing too many risks here, does Rabico? The leaders will be coming in soon. Six-tenths of a second is the gap between Martin and Albie. Rabico just getting caught out by the turbulent air. And Albie now using his ERS and the DRS to close in. Thinks about a move on Martin, but does not go for it. Wise not to, I suppose. And Albie staying in touch. It's the top two. Go over the line to start lap 8. This race is going rather quickly, isn't it? And Joftus now with the fastest lap, 1 minute 29.7. He's currently running in 7th place behind Cynix. And Teddy now with a time penalty for track limits. Here's Albie then, rear wing open. He uses his ERS to good effect. Which way is going to go? To the inside! They need to leave each other room and they don't! Albie spins! He spins in Brooklands! Now what's happened to Martin? He's carried on, but that's allowed Rabico into the race lead. Now the stewards may have a say on this because I don't know whether Martin changed his line more than once before they got to the braking zone, but that has sent them down the order. Albie's now behind his teammate and Joftus is going to get through as well. I would imagine Albie will be in the pits at the end of this lap to get out of the traffic. Albie now behind Joftus. He's going to use the DRS. Oh, he's into the barrier! Albie drops it! And he's out to the British Grand Prix. Pushed too hard. Over the DRS a bit too soon. And his race is over. And that's enough to deploy the safety car. Now, Rabico's gone past the pit lane. This is really bad news. He's going to be a sitting duck on the restart, most certainly. Everyone else is pretty much coming in, although Cynix is staying out. Emil is in. Calvin's staying out. He's going on a longer first stint. Joftus, Bruges, Noodles are coming in. Red Dog as well. Hartnell. This is great news for those who are at the back of the field because now they can get themselves back into the action. And Rabico will not be able to go past the safety car. He stays behind it. Now Martin rejoins in 5th place. Big boy behind on the hard compound, which is interesting. You'd have thought the mediums would be the better tyre to be on by this stage. I would say we're going to be on the safety car conditions possibly for 2 laps, maybe 3. Just depends how quick the field can get back together. Now Hamster stays out for another lap. So Hamster goes through. So Albie ends his first race in the CDR in Tier 1 in the barrier. Perhaps got carried away from the incident with Martin. And that just sent him off tilt. And was trying to get past Joftus on the hanger straight. Lost it with the DRS open. And his race has come to a premature end. So 4 drivers still yet to pit. And those in the top 4. Rabico leads with Cynix second, then it's Calvin and Teddy. And then it's Martin who's caught up to them now in 5th, Big Boy 6th. Joftus has gone into the soft compound, interestingly. Is he going to make those last? Will they last to the end of the race? I'm not 100% sure. It's enough to manage them whilst he's getting past these guys. And who's that that's entering the pits? Well, it's Dean is entering the pits. Oh, and someone's run into the back of him there. Not sure who that was. It was Noodles who ran into the back of him. That may not matter, because he is going to take that 5 seconds at his pit stop. I think they've gone onto the hard compound side, so they've done the mandatory rule in regards to using at least 2 different dry compounds in a dry race. Dean rejoins in 14th, or in 14th place. He'll rejoin in, could be 16th place actually, because Weatherman Harry is coming down the pit straight now. Now, is he going to get ahead of the other Aston Martin driver? He is so. So Harry, 15th place now. Dean in 16th, and Noodles in 17th. I think if I was Dean and Noodles, I would come in to the pits at the end of this lap. Although it may be too late now, actually, because by the time they catch up to the rest of the field, the safety car is going to be coming in at the end of this lap. So we're on lap 10. And Rabico will be thinking ahead here. How far can he take those medium tyres? He's got track position at least. So that's some positives to think about right this moment. 17 still running at the moment. Now in Zandvoort, 14 got to the end of the race. In China, 19 got to the end. We've just seen a penalty being dished out. I think that's Colin for a collision with Harry. So that's 5 seconds for Colin, and Weatherman Harry is now on 8 seconds worth of time penalty. The safety car is in this lap. So whilst we're waiting for the race to get underway, what I was going to say was we had 19 finishes in China, and if you were to include Michael, who crashed out in the final few laps in Hungary last week from the race lead, 16 got to the end. Well, 17 are still running at the moment. I am conscious as to how many we are going to see take the checker flag. But Rabico is leading the field now. He hasn't gone yet. Oh, and that's the Alpine off the track there. That's Teddy. He must have thought Rabico had already gone. And it looks like Rabico did go for a moment and then slowed down again, which you're not really supposed to do. And look at that! Rabico spins! So the championship contender has gone round, and from the race lead, he has fallen to the back of the pack. And Calvin is the new race leader here at Silverstone. And Sinex is now second. Martin goes up to third. And Teddy's gone for a spin in the Alpine. Luckily, the car is ghosted, so he'll be all right. But we go back to the leaders because Sinex will be thinking about getting into the lead here. Martin couldn't have dreamt of a better restart. What a bad blow there for Joftis. Sorry, not for Joftis, for Rabico. This was a golden opportunity to close in the championship battle. And Hamster is off the track at Loffield. And he rejoins just behind Rabico. So another driver we thought would be fighting at the front today has been having problems. Now Sinex, right behind Calvin. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of the restart. So this will give the Red Bull the chance to pull away. Martin's in there as well. But look at Joftis, who's on the soft compound. I would expect him to dispose of these guys. And someone's gone in sector 3. Is that Teddy, who's gone for a spin again? I reckon he'll be in the pits in this lap. Harry has ducked into the pits for another set of tyres. So he'll have to be hoping for a safety car from here on in. And who's that's gone round? It's the other Aston Martin of Dean. So Aston Martin's race not getting any better as Emil thinks about a move on Big Boy for 5th place. To the outside he goes, on the more grippy line, and Emil gets past and goes up into 5th position. Sinex all over the back of Calvin. And Teddy is in the pits to get rid of those medium compound tyres. I would think he may decide to go onto this soft compound. He is doing so. And if the safety car comes out again, he can go onto another set of softs if he wanted to. So he's down in last place now, is Teddy, when it looked so promising for him. And Joftis, almost going side by side with Martin, decides not to go for it, and wisely so. So Joftis behind Martin. He's not going to go for it into Stowe. There's Hartnell. Having a fairly decent race so far. He goes to the inside of the Williams of Red Dog. Nearly contact made, but thankfully they did not make contact. And Cynix now has a penalty for track limits. That is a bad dent to his race, and he will fall back in the final reckoning. He'll have to hope for not another safety car, because otherwise that'll make it a double whammy with all the cars bunched up back again. And Rabico with a new fastest at 129.4. He's caught up to the back of Dean in the fight for 13th place. Cynix is right behind with the DRS open. Is he going to go for it into Brooklands? The answer is no. Calvin holds on for now, but Cynix will be back for more, most certainly on the Hangar Straight, when they get round to it. And look at this, Droftus thinking about a move on Martin in the fight for third place. And someone's got set to 2, and it's Hamster who's off again on the exit of Luffield. Is that going to bring out the safety car within parts there? We'll find out in a moment. If so, that'll be great news for Calvin and Cynix. But here's Cynix now, look. DRS open. Which way is he going to go? He's going to go to the inside, and he's through into the lead, is he? Calvin fights back. Side by side they go on the exit of Stowe. It's Calvin in front to his Cynix in front. Calvin is still ahead for now. Cynix going to the outside, into Vale and Club, and he's into the lead of the race just before the safety car is deployed on circuit because of Hamster's stricken Red Bull on the exit of Luffield. Well, he had hopes that came out a little bit sooner, because that way they would have come in and get a pit stop sorted. Well, that's given a chance for those further behind to come in and get a set of soft tyres on. Noodles coming in, Dean in, and Rabico also in. So Hamster out of the race for the second week running. Not in the greatest of form at the moment. And it's good news for Weatherman Harry and Teddy, because they can catch up to the back of the pack once more. So these will go onto the softs for the rest of the race now. And Harry carrying on in the Aston Martin. And the safety car has picked up Cynix. Now, what will he decide to do here? I think both Cynix and Calvin will have to pit in and get the softs on. Because if they stay out there, they're going to find themselves in a really difficult position later on, because they still have to take it. And a drive-through penalty now has been given to Rabico for speeding under the safety car. Now, he cannot take that under the safety car. He'll have to take that when it goes back in. So Rabico's race has taken yet another turn for the worst. Cynix has a penalty of his own, but it's a 3-second time penalty, not a drive-through. And the safety car is coming in this lap. So it's not going to wait for those catching up. It's going to go at the end of this lap. So Cynix thinking about when to go here. There's no way he'll keep the victory. He had hoped the safety car had got out, had stayed out for another lap. Is he going to duck into the pits maybe, or is he going to stay out there for a little bit longer? I think he's staying out for a little bit longer. We're back on the way then, here at Silverstone. Cynix leads the field over the line for the start of lap 15. 12 to go here at Silverstone. Right on board with Calvin. He's got Martin looming in behind. Martin in a strong position to win this race now, providing he keeps out of trouble. And Colin's gone. So Colin has crashed at Farm. That is another driver gone from this race. So one of the Mercedes is out. And Teddy with another time penalty, unfortunately, for track limits. And Droftus, is that Droftus? No, it's Dan. But what I would say is Droftus has now got a time penalty. He was running in 4th position. So he's going to have to carry that to the rest of the race. And Dan and Big Boy still fighting over 9th place here. Dan going to the outside of the Haas. Is he through? Yes, he is. Very nearly contact. Rabico thinks about going for a move, and he's also passed the Haas. And Dean also passed the Haas driver, so Big Boy really struggling at the moment. Martin thinks about a move. Joftis will want to get this done as soon as he can here to put himself in the right frame of mind for the race victory. Now I'm just thinking, the skies are darkening at the moment. Could Cynix and Calvin be preempting the weather at the moment? Given that we've had 2 safety car periods, which has added more time to the race, could that help them when the rain comes down? Because that will save them a pit stop if that's the case. And Rabico now with a time penalty for track limits. He still hasn't come into the pits to take that drive-through penalty. So this is going to be the lap where he does it. Otherwise, it's a disqualification. He's behind Dan now in the fight for 9th place. Joftis to the inside of Martin on the soft compound. Uses all the road and then some on the old pit straight. There's just not enough room for him to get through. So Joftis being frustrated by the Alfa Romeo and runs wide for good measure. There's no DRS for the first couple of laps, remember, of the restart. So that's going to give Cynix and Calvin a little bit of breathing space as we watch Joftis use his ERS. This is going to be a change of position for 3rd place here. He thinks about going to the inside, but does not go for it, and wisely so. Dean now past Rabico, who's docked into the pit lane for his drive-through penalty, which will drop him back to 15th place. He'll have to hope for another safety car to salvage anything. And this is playing into Joftis' hands as far as the championship is concerned. But Martin now right behind the Red Bull and the AlphaTauri. Calvin able to use his DRS to stay front. And what's this? The safety car is out on the racetrack. That has got to be a glitch, surely. That has got to be a glitch. There's no way that should be there. Oh, he's taking Bruges out! Oh, I have to feel for Bruges, unfortunately. That is really hard on him. I don't understand what on earth that safety car is doing out on circuit. This is a farce. Absolute farce. If we thought Abu Dhabi on Sunday was a farce, well, have a look at that. And that's a Codemasters thing. So Bruges down to 13th place. He was running in 6th before he collided with the safety car. Martin now with a time penalty for track limits. Calvin using his DRS to defend. Martin thinks about a move. Does he go for it into Stowe? The answer is no. So he stays behind. And whilst the top 4 Tosselemans themselves, Emil is also getting in on the act. Hartnell past Deancon and Red Dog to go through into 6th place. Red Dog to the inside, makes contact and goes onto the curb, and he's lost time and places. Red Dog down to what looks to be 12th place. Calvin all over the back of Cynix in the battle for the race lead. DRS is going to open on Calvin's car. Cynix needs to watch his mirrors here. Doesn't need to go defensive into Brooklands. He was more than far enough ahead. And Joftis still not able to get in front of Martin. I don't know if he's thinking about the championship at this point. We are only at round 4 out of 16. But he won't want to throw away any points considering that Rabico is down the order. Now Joftis is behind Martin. Calvin getting a bit out of shape. Joftis trying to get a good exit. Rear wing open. Is this going to be a change of position? We'll want to watch Calvin as he goes for a move. Round the outside of Cynix. Is this for a change of the lead? It almost was. And Joftis speeds in the Ferrari. He's off the track. As the rain starts to fall on the circuit, The championship leader has gone for a spin on the exit of Stowe corner, and he's fallen well out of the top 10 by the looks of it. Well, Danny's coming into the pits. The rain is falling, so is that for intermediates? He may as well be going on to the intermediates because the rain is falling now on the racetrack. And Martin goes side by side with Calvin into Village. And he's past, is he? Calvin fights back. Calvin on the inside. No contact made. Martin gets off into second place in the Alfa Romeo. Heading on to the Wellington Straight. Cynix is still remarkably ahead of these guys as the rain is falling. Now he's going to be losing grip all the time. Now, how long will it be before the leaders decide to pit in? Cynix may feel it's definitely worth coming in because his tyres are pretty much shot now. And Martin's going to be looming in behind, but he will want to remain in front of Martin for when he does come in for his stop. Rear wing open on Martin's car. Calvin also behind. Calvin wants that second place back. But remember, Calvin does not have a time penalty. Cynix and Martin do. Teddy's gone for a spin on the exit of Village, but has carried on. The leaders carry on as well. And the safety car is still out on the racetrack. It needs to get out of the way. I don't understand why it hasn't come into the pits. It's one of those glitches. And now the Aston Martin, ironically, of Dean hitting the back of the safety car. And it's causing absolute carnage behind. This is ridiculous as far as Codemaster is concerned. I don't understand why that is out on the racetrack when it should not be doing so. And now Cynix still in the race lead. He's pulled away a little bit, but Martin will still have the DRS. And you can see the raindrops are clearly hitting the racetrack. And looks like Martin's beginning to struggle. Now what will the leaders decide to do? Martin runs wide and Calvin closes back in again. Calvin doing ever so well. He started way down on the grid at the beginning of this race. He was 20th on the grid. He's up to third and potentially on course for the victory as it stands once all the penalties have been applied. And Martin looks to remove on Cynix into Stowe corner. Can't get the move done there. And Teddy has crashed out. Now is that going to bring out the safety car within parts there? We'll find out in a minute. He's gone off a long way into that. You don't normally see accidents into the gravel trap. Noodles gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Calvin's in as well. Calvin in the pit lane. So Cynix has stayed out. Calvin in the pits for intermediates. Is this the right time though? I think it is. We'll find out anyway. Noodles gets the intermediate tyres put on his car. Hartnell also in for McLaren. So those behind the top five at the moment are in for intermediates. But surely Cynix is on the wrong tyres. And so will Martin. Emil and Dean are also on the wrong tyres. Red Dog nearly going off the racetrack in the Williams. He knows he should have come in to get intermediate tyres on. He's the only Williams driver left in the race, so I can't see why he's decided to stay out there. And now Rabico is still on the... I cannot believe he's still on intermediates. And Emil's out! Emil has crashed on the old pit straight! Now, is that going to be out a safety car? I keep saying that every time an accident happens, but that is the reason why a safety car would be deployed. He's out of the race, and Emil goes no further. DRS is now being disabled. Cynix must surely be pitting in at the end of this lap. Dean right behind Martin, who's shot back from the AlphaTauri. Dean dives to the inside. He gets past the Alfa Romeo and puts himself up into second place. Now, surely the leaders must be coming in for tyres. Martin trying to get in front there of the Aston Martin. A little bit naughty that, but he should be able to slow down in time, and he does so. So through all this, Calvin should take the lead of the race. He's coming up behind the Alpine of Bruges, who is still on slicks. There's no question that Calvin is on the better tyres. Bruges ducks in. Noodles gets a penalty now for track limits. He's picked up too many penalties in this race, to be honest with you. Now Calvin is coming onto the pit straight. Can he get into the race lead? It's going to be close. Synix is exiting the pit lane now. Synix is there. Where's Calvin? There he is. Synix is still ahead on the road. Calvin looks to pull alongside. He'll have more temperature into his intermediates than the AlphaTauri, but he stays behind for now. But as it stands, Calvin will still be taking the race victory, so he does not need to be taking any more risks now. So Synix holding on with the penalty applied. He will finish in P2. Noodles running in 4th place would drop back. We've got 5 laps to go here. Synix on course for well, I say on course for victory. He'll be on the road, but not on the final classification. Calvin looks to be on course to get his season back on track here. 6th in the standings coming into tonight. 25 points. That's going to put him on 51. He'll move in front of Hamster and Bruges as it stands, and Jaihu. So he'll go up to 3rd in the championship standings with the way things are going at the moment. Dean now with a time penalty. It's another one for him. 6 seconds it is. So he'll drop behind Jay Harnell at the end of this race. Niels will drop back. So Jay Harnell on course for a 4th place finish. Now Jay Harnell, so far this season, has only picked up a best result of 8. That came last week in Hungary. For a 4th place finish. Now it's the top 15 that score points in the CDR. 25 for victory, 20 for 2nd, 16 for 3rd, 13 for 4th. I think that's how the point system works anyway. But either way, Harnell on course for a good haul of points, and doing so from the back of the... And the safety car is still there, the glitch is still there, and the drivers are having to dodge their way around it. Martin gets through, Noodles gets past as well. Dean has no problem getting past it, it's just when it goes through the likes of Maggots and Beckett, Hartnell's going to have to use his overtaking skills here. Should get past it okay, actually. Having to take evasive action. I just hope Big Boy doesn't get caught out here through Maggots and Beckett's here. Yeah, he's having to go round it, so this is something that Codemasters needs to be looking at, because this is getting ridiculous now with all these glitches that have been happening. Synix almost looking like he was ducking into the pits there. He's still in the race lead. Bruges with another time penalty for track limits. His race just goes from bad to worse. So as it stands, he would fall 1 position. Dean gets past Noodles for 4th place on track. He's had a good race. He'll lose 1 position as it stands. Unless he can open up a 6-second margin on Jay Hartnell. So it may not be all doom and gloom at the moment for the reserve driver this evening. We've got not long to go in this race. Hartnell trying to hold off Weatherman Harry. He's looking to get through into 6th. Harry has a 3-second time penalty. Joftis is running in 8th. As it stands, Joftis will keep hold of the championship lead. Now, he's got past Harry, so Joftis is through and up to 7th. So with 7th place, that will net him 9 points, which will move... That will move Joftis up onto I'm just looking at Rabico at the moment. 13th place would get him 3 championship points. So Joftis would extend his margin at the top by 6. He would extend his gap over him to 22 points as Joftis looks for a move around the outside of Jay Hartnell. He'll have the better line. Uses the momentum. Wheel to wheel. Harry looks to take advantage of the paradigm. And Joftis gets past, and so does Harry. Nice drive in between these guys. Hartnell knows he just needs to stay within 3 seconds of these two, and he'll go back up into 6th place. So Joftis on course for 10 championship points now, which see him open up a 23-point lead over Rabico. Dean now with another time penalty, so that could be good news actually for Joftis as well. As it stands, he would move up another position. So Synix on course to lead the field. Can he open up a 3-second margin? I'm just looking at the gap. It's now 1.4 seconds. I doubt he's going to have enough time as Martin gets another time penalty for track limits. I doubt he's going to have enough time, is Synix, to open up a 3-second margin. So 2nd place just looks more likely at the moment, but he'll have taken that at the beginning. Synix started 14th on the grid. And he's in the race lead on track. Kelvin, who started 20th, is in 2nd position. And he'll be my driver of the day, should he win this race, because he's managed to take those mediums as far as he can before the rain came down. And now Synix is opening the gap of a little bit more now, as the safety car is still there. Synix will be worried. He'll want to he's lost time because of the safety car that's still there, so this is really frustrating for the drivers, unfortunately. Noodles will want to just get past it as soon as he can. Joftis closing in on it now as well. Oh, Joftis hits the safety car and he's gone off track. Oh, that's a terrible shame for Joftis. He'll be furious with that. He should have just gone round it, to be honest. Even so, he'll most certainly be complaining afterwards. Synix's gap is now 1.8 seconds. He may as well use all the ERS he's got left, because this is the last lap. Weatherman Harry with the time penalty for track limits. So Synix has now opened up a 1.9 second margin. He's run over his ERS for the lap. Coming into the last couple of corners now. Synix crosses over the line, but it's Calvin who is going to take victory here at Silverstone. Calvin wins the British Grand Prix for Red Bull. Synix drops to 2nd with his time penalty. Martin on the podium for Alfa Romeo in 3rd place. Dean at the moment is 4th for Aston Martin. We'll just wait for the other drivers to cross over the line. Noodles is 5th, Big Boy 6th, Weatherman Harry 7th, Joftis is in 8th, Hartnell 9th. And then we've got Bruges, Red Dog, Rabico and Dan rounding off the rest of the finishers. But Calvin is your race winner. He's thrown himself back into championship contention. The drivers celebrated on the podium. Calvin will be very delighted. From 20th on the grid to win. Can't get any better than that, really, can it? Synix 2nd from 14th and Martin in 3rd place. So it's your final race result. Calvin wins with Silence in second, Martin third, Dean fourth for Aston Martin, Noodles in fifth, had a big boy sixth, Weatherman Harry on the scoreboard in seventh place, Droftus eighth, Hartnell ninth, and Bruges 10th. Red Dog, Dan, and Rabico with the rest of the finishes. Rabico having another disappointing drive to 13th place there when victory could have been his. Emil, Teddy, Colin, Hamster, Albie, Jayu, and MDG failed to make it to the end. Well, the championship as it is, Droftus finishing 8th, sees him move on to, well, an 8th place finish gets you 8 points, and a 13th place finish gets you only 3. So he's extended the margin over Rabico by 5 points, so he now has a 21-point lead at the top of the championship standings. Well, that's all for today, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. The next round will be after Christmas, where we'll be racing. Just trying to remember which track it will be. It's at Portimao in Portugal on the 7th of January, 8:30 p.m. at Greenwich Mean Time. I just want to say thank you very much for this year, this calendar year. Have a nice Christmas and a happy New Year to all you folks. Make sure you're all good. Hopefully Santa will bring you something nice. And I can't wait to return racing in the commentary box, commentating on the CDR. Thank you very much for joining us. All's well for 2021, and a happy new year when it comes around to it for 2022. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the CDR returns.